I lost my daughter to a terminal illness when she was 21 months old. I launched a nonprofit, Love Not Lost, to help others terminally diagnosed and to support people in grief. I am currently in NYC doing a photo shoot for a mom with breast cancer and delivering 2 photo albums to preserve memories. Ask me anything. What are ways the nonprofit assists those dealing with grief? Is it the same way you dealt with yours? The ways we help others has definitely been inspired by my own journey as well as other people I hear stories from. I have asked questions in different subreddits to find out what has really helped people and talk to the people we are serving. There are a few main ways we support people in grief. One is directly showing up for the free portrait session. It's often a time of acceptance and beautiful emotions come out with the ones they love. Our desire is to celebrate life with people while they have it, so we try to create meaningful experiences when we can. Next, we deliver a beautiful handcrafted eco-leather photo album, think wedding heirloom quality. This book not only preserves memories but gives loved ones a space to grieve once their loved one dies. The book holds space for people without fear, judgment, or expectation that you often find elsewhere. We also follow up with people and do our best to continue relationships to let people know they are loved and remembered. We send out holiday photo ornaments and unexpected gifts. We are growing to support the greater community in grief by adding empathy cards, portrait session gift certificates, that you can send to people who you think might want a session, adding to our resources page, and have a few other things rolling out in 2018. Thank you for your question and feel free to message me with ideas if you have any on how we can better love and support people in grief. You are doing some wonderful stuff here for families. A photo can be so valuable. My question is a hard question for me to ask and I understand if you don't want to answer. You do photography for illnesses that are terminal. Sadly, there are many illnesses that are terminal. I'm sure you get many requests and I'm sure you get limited funding. If there are too many individuals who would like a session and not enough funding, what is the selection process like? You also mention on your website doing multiple sessions for people. How does this compile for individuals who are terminal but don't have a specific date of when they might pass or their date is years in the future? Do you continue to photograph them every year, or whenever the family asks? Or do you ever have to face the decision of declining a family that has requested multiple photo ops for another more terminal case? The decisions must be incredibly difficult. Edit. Also, do you ask the person being photographed to provide proof that their illness is terminal? Thank you for your thoughtful questions. We have had cases where the person dies before we can photograph them and it's heartbreaking. We do our best to schedule the sessions based on the severity of the cases, but sometimes there's just no way to know. We try to photograph as many people as we can. This is our first year doing a second photo session for a family, the reason I am in NYC. We are thrilled when the person we photograph is doing well and is up for another session a year or two later. If we have the means to do it, we absolutely will. How do you just start a nonprofit? Is it similar to just starting any other business? How did you start your nonprofit? In terms of finances, applying for nonprofit status, opening partnerships to help people, and even getting a few people on board to volunteer and help out. I'm curious about the business logistics of starting a nonprofit. I am leaving for the portrait session now, but I read this and wanted to let you know I will respond when I have more time to give a full answer. Thank you. My family has gone through something like this, though it was violent crime instead of an illness. I cannot imagine waiting in every day to help others with this situation. When it originally happened, I just wanted people to stop saying they understood and to go away. After 3 years, most days I am just trying and failing not to think about what happened as something tangentially related brings it up over and over, every day. Do you find dealing with this every day has helped? Does the wound ever salve or is it just the same dull throbbing emptiness over and over forever? I am so sorry for your loss and thank you for sharing. Dealing with this every day has brought healing. Don't get me wrong, it wrecks me, but I know the world needs more people who are willing to embrace pain and help people who are hurting. We needed that, and luckily found a few friends and family who stuck with us through hell and back. But there are families I meet who don't have anyone left. They've all been abandoned because it's too hard or people just don't know what to say or do and so they don't do anything. That's why next year, we are really working to equip other people to show up for the people they love in addition to what we're currently doing. Also, the healing is happening but the grief will always be there. My love for my daughter will never disappear and so my grief won't either. But I am learning how to carry it better and share my love for her with the world. Hopefully that answers your question. I currently have a ministry sending out handmade cards to grieving mothers. We launched in April 2017. It's pretty well known in the Instagram grief community and I do hope to become a registered nonprofit once I get the funding. What advice do you have to make the process go as smoothly as possible? Thank you for what you're doing. Thanks for your question and for what you are doing too. I talked to a lot of people, researched, including helpful books from Nalo.com, and started building my board before the 501c3 approval came in. Definitely get the right people on your team who believe in what you're doing. I lost a little one myself to SMA at 22 months, and am glad to see some more public exposure to it, but with so little public awareness of spinal muscular atrophy, why not put it more in the front of your presentation instead of just saying a terminal illness? Thank you for your comment. I am hoping people go to the website and or watch the video. I only had so many characters and last time I said SMA I got hate comments for not spelling it out and spinal muscular atrophy is a lot of letters. I hope you understand. I am doing what I can to help raise awareness. Thank you. My elder sister used to work helping young children with cancer and had to quit because it was so emotionally difficult. So my question is, how do you stay so strong through it? Thanks for your question. It's definitely hard emotionally. I cry when I learn of a death of someone we photographed. I've learned to give myself what I need to grieve. A lot of my strength comes from self-care, a great support system around me, and my belief that everyone deserves to be loved. And if we don't show up, there might not be anyone who does. Hopefully Love Not Lost can help change that by opening the conversation around grief and equipping others to show up for the people they love. I have a question, but first I just wanted to say I admire your work. Turning such a sad experience into something positive that helps others is really admirable. You seem to be getting really beaten up on this Ask Me Anything. Please keep doing your great work. It makes a difference. My question is this: how has building LNL affected your perception of your own tragedy? Has it helped, hurt, added perspective? Thank you. I appreciate your comment. I think building LNL has made me really proud to create a legacy for my daughter. In a way, it brings purpose to my suffering. I think it's an ongoing reminder that life is short and to live and love the best you can every day. You're an amazing person. I did a breastfeeding photo shoot for a friend who was just diagnosed with cancer and had to wean her 6-week-old baby. I don't think I've ever cried so much while editing photos. I have to ask a question so this gets posted. So what is your favorite ice cream? Ha ha ha, love the question. Vanilla with chocolate syrup. Thank you for loving your friend in that way. The session I did in the hospital, photos shown in the video, affected me the same way. I was ugly snot crying at my computer for days. What are the most challenging steps in starting a nonprofit? Any tips for someone who hopes to start one? The 501c3 application is definitely a huge hurdle, but you can get through that with the right help. The more important thing is to make sure you have a problem you can solve that no one else is solving. Surround yourself with people who believe in you and what you're doing and build your board strategically. I have an incredible board of directors. They help keep me grounded and hold me accountable, as well as furthering the vision of LNL in unique ways because of our different life perspectives. They are great people with big hearts that also happen to be very talented individuals. I also have mentors and am continually investing in my development as a leader. What are your thoughts on end-of-life care? Should we do what we can to prolong life or seek the highest quality life a person can live even if it means less time? Which one prepares families better for the grieving process? I find a lot of my thoughts align with B.J. Miller from Zen Hospice in SF. Check out his TE Doc if you haven't already. I went to one of their trainings on mindful caregiving and I really support the work they do. I can't speak to what's best for everyone because everyone is so unique, and therefore their lives and grief are too. One of the biggest things I have seen people struggle with through grief is regret, so if I had to make a blanket statement, it would be to communicate with your loved ones. Make sure all expectations and desires are clear, then love and love the absolute best you can. What you are doing is fantastic, using a tragedy in your own life to help others. I try to do this in my own life, helping those who suffer from anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts, etc. because I've been there. How has helping people deal with their grief affected you personally? Thank you for your comment. I'm on my way to the portrait session, but I will try to come back to this and respond with a full answer afterwards. How is the mom with breast cancer doing? I hope she is doing well and recover soon. Thanks for asking. All things considered, she's doing well and I am really excited to see her again. I've been fortunate enough to never have a friend or family member go through something like this, let alone lost someone to terminal illness. Having been around it a hell of a lot more than me, what would be your advice/wisdom to someone who is experiencing terminal illness right now, or equally somebody who has someone close to them going through it? Unsure why this touched me so much, but have donated to the cause because it felt so necessary. Keep up the beautiful work. Thank you. If you have someone you love in your life who is suffering from a terminal illness or another really hard situation, my advice is to show up. Don't be afraid of doing the wrong thing or saying the wrong thing, just focus on loving that person. Be honest. If you're not sure what to say, tell them that. I don't know what to say, but I am sorry and I am here for you. Is so much better that, everything happens for a reason or other cliché phrases that aren't helpful. When we're hurting, even something as simple as sitting next to a person can be the most meaningful act of love. People need to be loved and understood. Just show up. For those facing the diagnosis, my advice is that there can rarely be too much communication. Sharing feeling, needs, desires, and struggles with people you love who love you back is a critical part of living well and allowing others to help you through this really difficult time. Don't push people away because you want to spare them and rob yourself of love in the end. Thanks for asking this. I am sorry you lost daughter. I'm a photographer in the New York area as well. We work with Friends of Karen, a charity which raises funds and offers grief counseling for families with a critically ill child. If you are looking to branch out or partner with other charities, they might be a good contact. How does a nonprofit like yours work? Do you rely on donations, grants, volunteers, etc.? That's a great resource to know about. Thank you. We rely on all of the above. We have currently been operating with mostly individual donations, a few small grants, and volunteers. We will be relying even more heavily on volunteers as we grow. Holy moly! As a father, this video is a quick way to instantly burst into tears. What a horrible situation you had to go through. I see you are able to give people happiness in times of immense grief. Are there days where you just can't stop crying? I had days like that the first year after I lost my daughter. It was really hard for sure. Now it's better because I know how to care for myself and can better support myself through the grief with others. Plus, it's not all bad. There are so many moments of immense joy, meaning, and love that it makes all the hard days worth it. I've been thinking about starting a nonprofit. How did you start? What roadblocks did you have to climb over? I answered this earlier, so I will give a short version. Started as a true grassroots. No money, scraped together an event with the help of my friends, and launched after we got our 501c3, which was definitely the biggest roadblock in starting. Mainly because it's expensive to hire someone to do it when you are starting with zero budget, and I wanted to make sure we did everything right. Is there any way I can help with your foundation? Volunteer. I live in northern Jersey, like 15 minutes away from NYC. Possibly. Will you please send me a message with your email address and phone number? We can connect and see where your skills and interests are. Thank you. What is the best advice for someone who just lost their loved one to cancer recently? They were so close to the point I would believe they were soulmates. I'm asking because my best friend and lover is suffering, as she lost her Nana only months ago and it's hit her so hard. I am so sorry. One of the best things you can do is to be there for her, however she needs you to be, free of judgment, expectation, or fear. Counseling might be helpful, but she will need to choose that for herself. People just need to know they are loved and understood. Open and honest communication is critical. With so many nonprofits that exist, do you feel like your work is still meaningful? I only ask because I have considered quitting my business to start a nonprofit for someone I lost, but am hung up on the fear of not making a difference. Absolutely. I wouldn't have started it if I didn't believe it would make a difference. As it's been said before, there are a lot of causes that serve a specific purpose. We can all do our part to make the world a better place. Best wishes to you. Edit PS. It might help to volunteer with a nonprofit with a similar mission first to get your feet wet. You don't have to quit cold turkey, and I would typically advise against it. I volunteered sessions for years before I started the process for the 501c3. Are you looking for a summer business intern? We are open to it. Please send me a message. Thank you. How on earth do you get up and knowingly walk into that kind of emotional turmoil day after day after day after day? I could not do that. It's not easy, and it's certainly not for everyone, but I think we can handle a lot more than we give ourselves credit for. Do you need volunteer photographers? How do people get in touch? I have a friend who lost her mother to cancer that would love to be part of something like this. Thanks for your question. We are currently accepting photographers in the Atlanta area, and all the info can be found on our website. What do you eat for breakfast? Depends on the day. Thank you for this Ask Me Anything and for what you do. I work in the social services, and dealing with loss is difficult. Dealing with terminal diagnosis and future loss is something that is covered very little, yet is so important. Usually after the anticipated loss, people don't do much for the memory or self-care in the post, as there is this feeling of expecting it. Have you noticed any kind of advocacy by those who have taken up your services for others to do the same? Again, thank you for what you do in memorializing life and love. Yes, and thank you for your comment and the work you do. We are seeing more conversations open up and greater encouragement. Do you ever feel burnt out or weighted down working with people you know are terminal? If so, how do you cope with it? Definitely weighted down some days. There are mornings I struggle to get out of bed, but I have learned what I need for self-care and giving myself permission to grieve. It's really important for me to listen to my body. A good support system in friends and family is also key. A great counselor is helpful as well. Thank you for your question. How much do you get paid for this? And what % actually goes to helping people? $35,000 is my salary, which I shared earlier. I will be adding a Q&A page to our website in the next few weeks to share the rest of our numbers. Please check there for the information. Thank you. Do you give yourself a salary from the proceeds? I interned at the not-for-profit Paul Newman Salad Dressings Empire one summer, and Paul Newman's children get a really fat salary from the company. They drive Bentley cars and shit. My board of directors set my salary. We will be sharing our numbers on our website in the next few weeks under a new Q&A page I will be adding, so please check there for more info. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content every day.